So, this lab is all about playing the game Mastermind in order to simulate the experience of how we learn as humans and scientists. In order to engage students at the beginning of the lab, I ask them the question, how do you know what you know? And sometimes that will end up with just sheer silence. And if it does, then I kind of walk backwards a little bit and I'll ask them the question, think of something that you know for sure. And students will come up with all kinds of examples. They'll know that they have a dog. And so when we start with something like that, it's really fun to say, well, how do you know that the animal in your house is a dog? And then they start coming up with all of these different reasons. And from this kind of discussion, you can get a lot of different, really interesting input from all of your students because all kids think they know something. And what it turns into is this really neat discussion about metacognition and what we need to experience in our lives to feel that we know something for real. In order to make it even more engaging, I talk to the kids about how you oftentimes learn from people who you trust. And as I use this lesson early in the year, I talk about whether or not they trust me. And it's pretty interesting because a lot of kids will end up at the end of our discussion saying they don't trust me at all because I've kind of blown their minds a little bit and they're a little bit maybe unsure about what they actually know. After we have this discussion, we walk through the two questions in the background information. We do this together in a closed style note-taking format because at this point in the year, kids have not done any note-taking in my class. And you'll see that there is something called tags, which is included in another lesson, and it's a way I have students answer short answers in science class to make sure they're including evidence and reasoning. That's how I engage my students.